Today is Wednesday, July 30th, 2025. It is 10:02 a.m., and I would like to call to order the special meeting of the Town Council of Bowling Green. Would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will now take a roll call. Ms. Davis?
Here.
Mr. Voigt?
Good morning, I'm here.
Mr. Webb?
Here.
Dr. Chenault?
Here.
Vice Mayor Coyle?
Here.
Mr. Stork?
Here.
Mr. Hageman?
Here.
All members are present and we have a quorum. We are here to discuss the town council composition for the town council, and am I turning this over to you at this time or to Valerie?
What we all want to do it. I mean, I don't really have anything. I don't have.
I'm going to turn this over to you. Well, okay, fine. Okay. We we had a discussion at our retreat in January. And one of the things that we discussed was our council composition and having the mayor be part of the council. I had a vision of a 7-member council with mayor having a voting spot on the council. It would reduce the council from 8 to 7. Vice Mayor Coyle has a vision of a 5-member council. In my vision, I see that the citizens vote for the mayor. I see that as a 4-year term. Vice Mayor Coyle sees that the mayor should be appointed by the council.
Not totally.
Okay.
Just keep with your vision.
Okay, well, that's why I wanted you to speak. Okay, so I feel like that the mayor should be voted by the citizens because at the end of the day, I feel like they should be able to choose who represents them to the world, the greater world at large. I also feel that the 4-year term is important because we have community outreach and partnerships with other jurisdictions. If you're changing the mayor once a year, it makes it very difficult to build these relationships, like when I meet at Fort AP Hill and we're meeting with other supervisors from other counties. It takes time to build those relationships, especially when you're only meeting 3-4 times a year. If it's a 4-year term, you have a chance to make those bonds, build those relationships, and I feel, more productive. At this point, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you.
So I will take exception with a couple of your comments. I don't have a challenge with the mayor being elected.
Okay.
I mean, that's not my vision. The reason I brought this thought process to council is, and I'll give you my background story. When I first started on council, 2020, when I was running to be a council member, I'm walking down the street and Mr. Stork says to me, "Anyone running for council?" And I said, "Hopefully we have enough people because you always seem to have a challenge." We do, having people run. And I told him I did talk to a resident whose comment to me was, "I'll take one for the team and I'll run." Whoa, light bulbs in my head went off. Last year, the day before the deadline to file for council, we didn't have enough people to run. Again, here we are with a shortage of people running for council until the last minute. This is how I got to the point of thinking maybe a discussion would be in order to discuss the composition of reduction of council to maybe 5 members. Whether we have an elected mayor or not is part of that discussion. Elected mayor is fine. My biggest question to you is, why do you want the reduction?
I think it would make for more efficient government. I think that it would the mayor's position now does not have a power of veto. There are three different forms of mayoral government. And we have the first form where the mayor only runs the meeting and represents the town and signs financial documents and contracts. The mayor is approached by citizens and they have this vision that the mayor should be able to help them on some level. And it's difficult to do that when your hands are tied and you don't even have a vote on some of these issues. I will say that one of the reasons I would like to have it at 7 instead of 5, even when we were at our retreat and the Berkeley group spoke with us, Kim said that he also believed that 7 was better than 5 because 5 members puts too much power in too few people's hands. And I go back to the year 2018 where we had the spouse of a sitting council person join the council. So we had 2 members from the same for 2 years on council till that person became mayor 2 years later. And if that were a 5-member council and those two people were on there and they had a third person, they could monopolize all the votes. And I feel that that is just
So
too much power.
you want power. You're wanting a vote. So for me,
I want the mayor to have a vote. This will take place after my term is up. Whether I continue in this position or not is irrelevant. I think that any mayor who sits in this seat should be able to have a voting voice in this council.
all right, so in my brain, and that could be a scary place sometimes, I feel a 5-member council, it's a popular choice in many counties. It gives a balance of representation and efficiency. It's effective in decision-making because a smaller council can be more efficient and easier to coordinate decision-making. It provides accountability and representation. A smaller council can be more directly accountable to the community as each member represents larger portions of the population. A smaller council can be less expensive to operate than a larger one. Frankly, for me, anybody who comes to council, mayor, council person, because of a vote is frightening. Holding a council position involves more responsibilities and demands and a commitment to serving the community simply than casting a vote. So for me, the fact that you think the mayor should vote as chairperson, I have many issues with, and that's probably the biggest one. Voting is not a reason to make a change in composition or even to serve as a public servant. It doesn't provide power to anybody. For me, the word power belongs at the end of a tool, nuclear, or energy, not in someone's seat as they're working for the community.
Understood. So at this time, I'd like to open this up to council members, their thoughts. Ms. Davis?
Well, actually, to be honest with you, we have so many other issues. I don't know really why we're bothering to take time to do this. That's my thought.
This was brought up at the retreat back in January, and Ms. Coyle and Dr. Chenault, you were the ones that brought this up to the town.
Not really.
That was what I was indicated to me, that the 2 council members were the one that called this meeting.
Well, we called a meeting because we have another issue in closed session.
Okay,
And this needed to be addressed as discussion.
okay,
We didn't do this because it was brought up in our
Okay.
retreat. It was briefly perused at our retreat. You had mentioned it, Kim had mentioned it, but there was no discussion.
okay.
Since we met with the town attorney and the town manager, the 4 of us met, I thought it warranted discussion. Wherever this goes is not a challenge for me. I just thought it warranted discussion because we do have challenges at times.
Mr. Voigt?
Okay. Yeah, I guess I got a few thoughts on it, but I don't want to take too much time here. Let me go back with, I guess, my story, kind of the way that you were talking at the beginning there, Valerie. I came onto the council, started in 21. So you got appointed a little bit before me. So, but we were running in the same one. At that time, I kind of echoed some of the things that Vice Mayor Coyle was saying. There weren't enough people that had signed up initially in that run. But my opinion has actually evolved in that time since. Ultimately, in that year, we ended up having several write-in candidates. They were a little late to that particular one, but there were more people vying for seats than were seats at that time. Then subsequently in 2018 didn't have a whole lot of throughput, but then 22 did, and then the last election we had more people invested. I get what you're saying, that they waited kind of to the last minute. I think there were other reasons for that. I think people were just kind of contemplating whether or not to run, and I felt that way. I forget exactly when I put my name in. I want to say it was April that first time, but I do feel slightly that going down to 5 would kind of, not that we're responsible for people's feelings, but I do feel that by having the higher amount of members, it does, no right word, maybe decentralize a little bit, but there's, by having more there, when people kind of, for lack of a better word, fall off of the thing and they're done, there's more opportunity for the people that maybe wouldn't be as gung-ho about it. People that are, I really want to run, I really want to be a politician. I think it can grab some of the folks that would want to be more, I'd like to make a difference or something like that. I want to be a part of this. And for some, there's an adversarial nature of, I don't think I can get into that. All these people are mad power hungry up there. Not saying that we are, but I think that some people can feel that if they feel that the competition is too great. So I kind of like the aspect of the way that we currently have our staggered elections. We have 4 seats up, then we have 3 seats up. I feel that does give a good opportunity for folks to get in. If we were to drop to 5, that does also, do we elect everybody in the same year? Or, do we do stagger where it's 3 and 2 instead? That's weeds we'd get down if we get to that. As for the mayor, I guess I'll just talk very quickly logistically about that. Just adding a vote to the mayor, that would make 8. And then conversely, if we were to drop 1 council member to make that an odd number, that kind of goes back to my first statement of that takes away a little bit of voice from the people. So long way of saying I kind of like it how it is, and I'll just be done for now.
Very good. Thank you. Mr. Webb.
Can we jump around?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just afraid all the good comments will be taken.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Go ahead, Mr. Stark.
Can I go before you,
Take the
David?
good
Can I go
comments.
before you, David? Thanks. Because Dan usually has some really good singers, and I just don't want him to steal them all.
Stole your thunder.
Okay, so and obviously Dan and I have the perspective of being on council for 10 years.
Yes.
A long time ago. So I will just say that we did a charter change back, a long time ago, and it wasn't brain surgery, but it was brain surgery, right?
Mhm.
Because we had to get our town attorney, Gene Kelly at the time, involved. We had to get our legislator involved, our town manager involved, the mayor involved, and it was a timing thing. It was a cycle. We had to get it, we had to get in the groove at a certain time, or we couldn't get it in. And like I said, it wasn't the end of the world, but it was a warranted thing at that time, because we went from 2-year terms to 4-year terms. And more importantly, to save money, we changed the voting cycle to November like everybody else in the world, right?
Well, that was the state law. We were required to do that.
Okay. So back then, we were paying a lot of money
Right.
to set up the registrar in May, and Port Royal was too. So it made sense, but it took a lot of our staff time, and it costs money. So I think we're at a premium on both of those things right now, staff time and money. As 10 years of being the mayor, I voted twice in 10 years. So there never was really a problem with gridlock, right? I mean, we've never had these nights where it's just tied up, locked up, and the mayor saves the day. But if it ever does get that way, the mayor gets to save the day. So if we went from 7 to 5, we'd still have the potential for a tie and a vote, right? As far as not having enough people to run, even if they come in a week before the closing or they do a write-in, we have never not had enough people to run, right? And it's not, it's just the times. It's shame on all of us, for not participating more in our local government, right? And so that's always going to be an issue wherever. So I don't think we have the time. I don't think we have the money. I'm not in favor of it. And I will tell you, I didn't know what in the world it was going to be like being the mayor of Bowling Green, right? Until I became the mayor of Bowling Green. And at first I'm like, I'm mostly ceremonial. I get to hit this wooden hammer and I get to go to ribbon cuttings and I get to be the face of the town. I get to lead a group that are doing the heavy lifting. But that was a good thing. I enjoyed that, and it had been successful for 100 years, and not quite. But so I'm not for doing any of this.
Okay.
Right now. Thank you.
Very good. Mr. Hageman.
No, I don't know. We'll take all the good ones. I'm leaning on the side. I mean, I don't want to see it happen either. The year that I ran for council, I was appointed first, but I ran, and I think it was a year when there was 3 seats and it was like 6 people running because I know 3 people didn't get in, and they were all on the ballot, so it wasn't a write-in; they were there. So I don't think we need to lower it to 5 to 3, from 7 to 5 to 3. Number one, I think 5 to 3. It could be more of a power play is kind of how I see it sometimes too, because it only takes 3 people instead of 4 people to agree on something to get something done. I think with 7 people, it's a broader image. It's going to be a little bit harder maybe to get something passed, but maybe it needs to be harder than easier to get in. To allow the mayor to vote, I mean, we've never done it in this town before, so why do we have to do it now? I don't think the mayor should have a vote. I mean, they elected the mayor. They elect the mayor with no voting right as a ceremonial head for the town to run the meetings, but not to have the power of the vote. I think if we get into that, we're going to get into a lot of, I don't know how you want to say it. I think there's just going to be a lot of animosity with a lot of people because things are going to get passed that maybe shouldn't get passed or get turned down because they shouldn't get turned down just because the mayor's got an opinion one way or the other. So again, since the town's been incorporated, this is the way it's been. I don't think we need to change it. I think it's good the way it is, and it is a lot of money. Valerie, understand if we went to 5, it would cut some salary off and it would help the town. But how much is it gonna cost us to get this all changed with staff and the lawyer and all that stuff and going through the ranks that we have to do that? Is it going to cost more than what it's at what we're actually paying? I don't know. But I would say if it's not broke, don't try to fix it. And it's working fine.
Mr. Webb.
Generally, I would say I'm in agreement. I don't see any reason to necessarily change. I can see some benefits in going down to 5. But, like previous council members have stated, we've always had enough people to run, and sometimes some of us always wait to the last minute to sign up anyways, because that's by design and you don't want to sign up early. In terms of the mayor voting, I mean, I view that the mayor does have a vote. I mean, the mayor votes when it counts. I mean, we all cast a vote and generally we are all in agreement, but when it comes down to where we need that tiebreaker, I mean, the ultimate decision maker is the mayor. So as far as I'm concerned, they do have that vote when it's needed and when it really counts. But yeah, I just don't think it's the time right now with everything else we have going on, just with all of the resources. It may be something that maybe we ought to look at in a year or two once we have a few other things behind us. Because I can see Samaritan being smaller, but like Randy said, making that vote 4 makes things a little more difficult, which can be good. So I just think not at this time.
Very good. Thank you. Dr. Chenault.
At this point, I don't see any benefit. I don't understand any benefit of changing the town charter to this council or the town. I see our current arrangement as somewhat analogous to other governments where you have a ceremonial chief of state, you have an executive, and then you have the legislative. And neither one of those others vote. It's just the legislature that votes, right? I see that as being advantageous in government. They found it useful elsewhere. Also, I do not support changing from 7 to 5 because from my point of view, 7 is a hedge against the contingencies of life. If someone or some 2 are out for whatever reason, with 5, you'd have 3 people trying to make a decision. And I think 7 is better representative of the people. I would, however, and do support the mayor having a 4-year term.
Very good. Well, at this time, because of, do you have any further comments?
Yeah, again, this was strictly for discussion, and I'm
Yes.
cool with everything
Yeah.
everyone said. I just have one caveat. The mayor, the former mayor and present mayor, being mayor is just not ceremonial. It's a leadership responsibility. You have involvement in policymaking, you're serving the community, your active participation in being effective facilitator to your council members. I find that all to be leadership qualities, not ceremonial. I think it's very important. And I think you cut yourself short by thinking that. We are happy and we are functioning together, whether we are 7 or maybe if we were 5, as Dan says, in the future. So I'm cool with everything that transpires. I just think it warranted discussion. Thank you. Good deal.
I'm in agreement with our vice mayor. This was just, we never really anticipated that anything would change, but this was something that we had to bring forth for discussion. So at this time, we will table this and move on to the next item on our agenda. And that will be going into a closed session. I will need a motion to do so and an opportunity to clear the room.
I
once
can
it's
read
done.
this for you, Madam Mayor. I'll move that we go into closed session pursuant to Code 2.2-3711A. 3, discussion or consideration of the acquisition of real property for a public purpose or of the disposition of publicly held real property where discussion in an open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body.
And if I may just add to that, and that's just as it relates to potentially acquiring property within the town.
As it relates to, say that again, I'm sorry,
Acquiring property within the town.
acquiring property in the town. Okay.
So I have a motion on the table by Councilman Voigt. Do I
I'll
have
second it.
a second by Councilperson Hageman? Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously. We will now go to closed session. We will have a 5-minute recess while we clear town hall. Thank you.
return to open session and certify by roll call vote that only the items identified in the motion for closed session were discussed and that those items are lawfully exempted from the Freedom of Information Act.
I make that motion. Did you?
Yeah, just needs a second.
A second? Second by Mr. Hageman. Any more discussion? Okay.
Do a roll call.
Ms. Davis,
I certify.
Mr. Voigt,
I certify.
Dr. Chenault,
I certify.
Vice Mayor Coyle,
I certify.
Mr. Stork, and Mr. Hageman. We come out. Thank you. Bye.
Let her know she can come in.
Okay, we are now in open session. We have no action to take at this time. We are going to move everything to next Thursday's council meeting. I would like to ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn a meeting this afternoon or this morning.
I have a motion from Councilman Hageman. Do I have a second from Ms. Davis? Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. I have 5 of our council persons voted to adjourn. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Drawing a blank.